syringe.
So this is to remove the catheter.
Kind of unhook this like I showed you when we went to CT. This will hook back to each other. And so this can only go in one lure. So it can only go in the one titled in. What you'll do is literally stick this in here and try to aspirate any of the saline out. Which you'll get as much as you can. It won't always be a set amount. You won't always get 5 cc's, you may not always get 10, which is totally fine. Just aspirate it a few times, and you can even close off the other cord just to make sure you're getting a good vacuum seal on it. And when you go to pull it, it's really important to make sure that these lures are both open. So say somebody was pulling it and they forgot to aspirate it, and so this thing was slap full with saline like when it was running, and these are closed. There's no way nowhere for that saline to go. So it's going to cause a lot of problems trying to pull it. Probably be impossible, but cause a lot of damage as well. So if you open it up and there's residual saline in here, which you can see a little bit of a few drops, nothing crazy, and you go to pull it, it's going to actually, the pressure from pulling will expel any leftover fluid out. So it's really important to keep these open when you're pulling it. Other than that, it's like removing any other central line. You will kind of feel some pressure where the balloons start and stop, and that is totally to be expected. Don't freak out if you feel that. That's totally normal. You shouldn't meet any sort of crazy resistance. If you do, definitely tell the provider. Make sure something else isn't going on. Let's see. Troubleshooting wise, you want to, like I said, this tubing is long, can easily get tangled. If you're getting alarms or your patient's not reaching target or anything like that, make sure that the tubing isn't stuck under a wheel. It happens. I'm guilty of it as well. Make sure the site of your patient isn't positional, just like you would with other IVs. Make sure tubing isn't stuck in here and kind of kinked off. Another thing that I want to mention is that this saline bag is for the whole course of this therapy, this one saline bag. So if for some reason you look over and the bag is empty, or you know the nurse on the previous shift mentioned that they changed this bag, there's a problem. So definitely look around, make sure that the saline isn't leaking out, which is why I said definitely make sure this goes all the way to the hub. But then you also kind of want to think about balloon rupture if there's no leak or anything like that. So if there's a balloon rupture, which it is very, very, very rare, but it does happen, one way you can know is from this being empty. The machine is pretty smart and will alarm you to that as well. If for some reason it doesn't, the worst thing that's going to happen to your patient is they might get a bolus of some fluid. They're not going to get this air in the top though, because this air trap here is going to alarm and shut this off before that happens. So if that happens for any reason, definitely call this 24/7 line that's on the tag on the back and report it, and they will probably want you to keep the catheter in the manager's office to send back just so they can run some tests on it and investigate the issue and all of that good stuff. Also, this 24/7 number is awesome. Say you don't use this for several months and for some reason you can't find the video, or you just have another question about something that they didn't cover, call this line. It's an ICU nurse that's literally there 24/7. They can FaceTime you, walk you through setup, answer any questions that you have. So it's a really good resource. There are also some setup guides back here as well. And then this is a really good visual here too. And if you go on YouTube and just type in like Zoll Thermogard, it'll come up with like a ton of setup videos as well. Any questions? Anything I didn't cover? No?